guys, how's it going? We're going to have a little web scraping tutorial today. I'm going to talk about two packages I like to use to handle nested dictionaries. You'll find when you're web scraping you'll be handling nested dictionaries a lot, either because you're using a lot of APIs or you're grabbing details out of script tags. So the package I'm going to show you is ChompJS, which will let you more easily get data out of these script tags, and also JMESPath, which will allow you to crawl into these nested dictionaries and pull out the details you need a lot easier than just usual looping or whatever. So yeah, let's get started. Let's just start with ChompJS. So usually what I try and solve with ChompJS is something like this, where let's say I've gotten this big block of text out of a script tag, and here I've got this lovely JSON object which has the data I'm looking for. In this case, it's a list of products. But the problem is that I've got all this crap before it, I've got all this crap after it, so I can't actually parse it as I normally would. If I was just to do, import JSON, and then if I was to do JSON dict is equal to json.loadf text, you'll see I get this big error. I'm getting this big error because this is not a right format. So what ChompJS is going to do is kind of tries to look in this block of text and pull out the dictionary you want. Specifically what it does is it starts looking from the top and it finds the first dictionary. So it'll find either the first curly bracket or the first square bracket, whichever one it sees first. And it'll know that's where the dictionary is starting from. And it's going to go all the way over here to the side. It's going to find the closing one and the semicolon to know that this is where it finishes. Oops, I change that. There we go. So look just to find where it finishes. And it's going to pull out just that part and leave the rest of it inside. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to say from ChompJS import parse JS object, like so. And then I can just do JSON dict is equal to parse JS object. I'll put the text in there. And you'll see now no error popped up at all. If we go here to my little helper screen, you'll see here that JSON dict is a dict with one field with data as the key. And if I expand it, you'll see that it has the products list in there, and it has all my products, all data of my products. So you can see I didn't have to, I was able to do this quite easily with just a single line of code, and it was really fast to pull out exactly what I needed. In most cases, you'll have something like this, where the very first dictionary is what you want, and simply throwing in the parse.js object will be fine. If you look at my other video, which is a Twitch VOD I made about working with dynamic websites, you'll find a more complex example there where I was looking to find a dictionary that wasn't the first dictionary in the block, was actually a bit lower down. Okay, so now that we have our JSON data here pulled out of this complex script, I'm going to talk about using JMESPath to better walk through that nested dictionary and find what we're looking for. A very simple thing you can do at the start, as you'll see here on my screen, is let's say we want to get this products list, which is inside this data key. So you'll see here, like if you look at the text, it'll be data, products, and then the list. So if you want to go and get this, that's like just one level down, what we can do is just use this dot between a bunch of strings to walk down the keys of the dictionary. So if I do something like products equals this, you'll see now I've got my products pulled out. So that's like the equivalent of doing, JSON data, data products. So you can see it's a little bit nicer to just do this, use these dots instead of having to do all of these nested dictionaries. And as well, this also helps when you try to do a key that isn't there. So for example, if instead I made a mistake and I did, this product, you'll see no error actually comes up. In some cases, you want it to fail silently. In other cases, you would want to know that this isn't there. So it really kind of depends on your use case. So that's kind of like just the first kind of little part of it, but that's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to JMESPath search. If let's say all I want is to get the names of the products, so you'll see here if I expand this out, you'll see each product has a name. So let's say if I just want to have all the names of products in this block of JSON, I can just do something like this. And then you'll see here, if I expand my names, I got just the names out of it. So this would normally be like a fairly complex loop to make, But when you just use JMESPath search, it's just a single line of code where all you do is, because products is a list, I'm going to put this here to designate, okay, I want the list, I want everything in the list, and then I do .name, and that's going to pull the name field out of all the dictionaries in this list. That's why I have the square brackets here. And this is already quite powerful, and those of you who've done a bit of web scraping will already see a lot of cases where you can make your code a lot simpler now by using this trick. Another thing you can do is you can do filters. So let's say, for example, I only want a specific product. So you'll see all of these products have an ID. So that has an ID, that has an ID, and that has an ID. And let's say, I want this one specific ID. What I can do is I can put a query inside these brackets. I'm saying, okay, I want where ID is equal to this. So now if I was to do that, so we'll say this is this one product. So we'll say product is equal to this. Okay, and if I put all these down, you'll see that now my product variable has it's a list of one. So this is always going to return the list. This is a list of one element and has just what I'm looking for. So it didn't actually pull any of the others. So you can see if I go back to here, see there's like lots of products. It didn't pull all of them, although I pulled bacon because bacon had the ID I was looking for. And as well as before up here, you can add on additional fields to the end of it if you want to get something specific. So let's say if I just want to have the name of the product with this ID, I can just go like this. You'll see here I get bacon out, a list. Again, this is always going to be a list. So I get one list with bacon. So this is the name of the product with this ID. So if I'm looking for a specific product in a list of products, I can use this to easily filter. And again, this would be usually a bit of a more complex loop. Like JMESPath is always just a single line. You can also do some comparison filters. So let's say I want to find all the products where the price is larger than 2. So this would be like $2 or €2 or whatever. So I want to say, okay, which one of these are more than two monies? We'll say. I can just copy this, and you'll see here that I'm getting 2 results: bacon and ham, because bacon and ham are both cost more than 2 monies. And you'll see here if I expand, bacon is 2.5 monies and ham is 3.5 monies, and beef is 1.5 monies. Because this is lower, it is skipping it, and it's only looking at these two. And you can also filter it by Boolean. So you'll see that this guy is not in stock is false, but here in stock is true, and here in stock is false. So of bacon, ham, and beef, only ham is in stock. So if I do this, paste it here, you'll see that I get ham. So it is so I can actually use this to pull out just the ones that are in stock. And that's kind of the main power of JMESPath. Not just it makes pulling out specific fields a bit easier, but also you can put these filters in and filter by specific things you want in those fields. A trick I do whenever I am working with JMESPath search is I'll take whatever dictionary I'm looking at and I will write it to my file as here you'll see data.json. This is something I've written. Actually, you can't see that. That is behind my face. I'll just open it up. So you'll see here, this is a JSON file. This is basically just a JSON file we're working with. And what I'll usually do is I'll write this to my file, to my disk, and open up in PyCharm. And what I like about doing this is that if I just kind of click around, so let's say if I want this one, I'll actually see down here, I can actually see the path it takes to get there, because it goes data into products. I'll just have to do data.products in order to get the first one out. And I know that there'll be a list here, and I know that I want the name out of it. So a common thing I'll do is I'll write the JSON to my disk, I'll open up in PyCharm, and I'll click to the specific fields I'm looking at, and I'll see what's written down here. And I'll use that to make my JMESPath query, which is just going to be a single string. And it's something I use a lot, especially when dealing with APIs, because APIs will tend to have really complex nested dictionaries, and this makes dealing with those much, much, much easier. As well, with a lot of dynamic pages, I'll find there's a common thing I'll have where at one part, there'll be listed products and their IDs, and then like down here, there'll be something like product IDs and if they're in stock. So I'll need to get the IDs from up here, and then I will use these filters to look in this one over here instead and filter, okay, for this ID, what's the case? For this ID, what's the case? And these would normally be very, very complex loops, but thanks to JMESPath, I can make it quite simple. So yeah, that was ChompJS and JMESPath search. So hopefully now after this, you'll know how to use these two packages to make web scraping a lot easier, make it easier for you to find and extract these JSON objects, and then make it easier for you to walk through these JSON objects to grab what you need. If you like this kind of content, you want me to do more web scraping videos or any other kind of programming videos, feel free to like and subscribe. Comment if you have any specific questions about specific things you'd be dealing with that you've been having problems with, or feel free to ask me in the comments and try to answer. And if I get a lot of questions, if it seems complex, I might make a video about it as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.